Whereas most innovations were, to some extent, by design, sometimes people just accidentally discovered something and then just decided to run with that. From Velcro to potato chips, here are some of the world's greatest accidental innovations. But before we get into that one, please remember to give us a like below, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell if you want to get some inspiration for innovation and our lovely long time. Number 1, Velcro. Swiss engineer Georges de Mestral went for a walk with his dog, and when he got home he realized that on the fur of the dog and on his pants were all these little sticky burrs. He examined the burrs under a microscope and realized that they had lots of little hooks in them that would attach to the fur and to the kind of the loops of the fabric of his trousers. And because of this, these could be really easy reattached, taken off, reattached, taken off. Inspired by that, he then set out to create this new fastening system, combining the French word velours, which means fabric, with croix, the little hooks on the other side, and thus creating the word Velcro. And then after a couple more years of refinement, in 1955, Velcro was officially patented. It's now used in things like sports shoes, jackets, but even aerospace application. Number 2, super glue. Whereas the invention of the Post-it came out of a kind of a botched experiment that produced really weak glue, well, this one came out a lot stronger. Harry Coover, a chemist at Eastman Kodak, was working on a new kind of plastic for gun sights when he stumbled upon a super sticky substance that was very hard to remove and became very difficult to work with. And he didn't quite know what to do with this until years later he decided to shift his focus and turn it into an adhesive, a super strong adhesive, which we now of course all know by the name of super glue, and it's still being used all over the world until today. Number 3, X-rays. In 1895, while conducting experiments with cathode rays, German physicist Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen made a remarkable breakthrough. He noticed that a screen coated with fluorescent material was glowing even when it was not in direct contact with the rays. And he then came to the conclusion that this was a type of radiation which they hadn't really seen before. Hence he gave it the name the X-ray, because he didn't quite know what to call it yet. And his discovery revolutionized medical diagnostics, enabling doctors to examine the body's internal structures without any kind of invasive procedures. In fact, Röntgen's discovery was so important that he won the very first Nobel Prize in physics in 1901. By the way, the Dutch word for X-ray is Röntgen, named after Christopher Helmut Conrad Röntgen. And for some stiff competition, number 4, Viagra. In the 1990s, Pfizer scientists were working on a drug to treat high blood pressure and angina, which is a type of chest pain caused by reduced blood flow to the heart. And during clinical trials, they discovered that this drug had a couple of side effects. Namely, it induced erections in male participants. Recognizing the potential for treating erectile dysfunction, Pfizer then redirected its research efforts and eventually launched Viagra in 1998. And this drug has since become one of the best-selling pharmaceuticals in history, helping millions of men worldwide. And number 5, potato chips, or as the Brits call it, crisps. The invention of the potato chips goes back to 1853 when chef George Crumb, yep, punny name, was working in a restaurant in Saratoga Springs, New York. One of the customers was complaining that the potatoes were too thick and too soggy. So Crumb took it back into the kitchen, sliced them as thinly as possible, fried them, put some salt in it and presented it back. And in the beginning, potato chips were actually seen as a luxury, often only sold in upscale restaurants. Maybe that was because they were like hand sliced and they required a certain level of skill and labor. I don't know. But of course, as always with innovation, once the invention of the mechanical potato slicer was introduced, the fancy schmancy wore off and potato chips became available to everybody in the world. Hey, and if you already have a bit of let's say an accidental innovation, but you want to see how it actually works in the market, then click on this video over here where I share a really simple method which almost every successful entrepreneur in business use to test the ideas before they actually go to market. So this video over here. Thank you for watching.